Hey folks, this is Gabe with Security Baron, and comfort is key. You don't want to be too hot, too cold, and you always want to save some money. So let's see if we can help you out today with our review of the Nest Learning Thermostat. In today's review of the Nest Learning Thermostat, we're going to go over some pros and cons, its design, its feature set, the installation process, the mobile app experience before answering some frequently asked questions and letting you know who we think this device is for. If you want to get all the details on the Nest Learning Thermostat, check out my comprehensive written review at security.org. There you'll find not only my review on the Nest Learning Thermostat, but also comparisons with other thermostats out on the market, along with tips and guides on how to create your own Nest ecosystem. Once again, this can all be found at security.org. Let's kick off today's look at the Nest Learning Thermostat with some pros and cons, beginning with the pros. Now, you can actually interface with the Nest Learning Thermostat in a number of ways. You can not only control it from a mobile app wherever you happen to be, you can also just speak directly to it when you're in your house with the Google Assistant enabled capabilities, or I can go directly up to the thermostat itself and click that dial in one direction or another, just turn it to get the exact temperature that works for me in the moment. Now, on top of that, it actually will just begin to learn your schedule over time. So if you're home on the weekends, it'll make sure that it's comfortable. If you're not home throughout most of the week, it'll make sure that it's on that eco mode so you can save money, so that automatically changing and adjusting your temperature is really valuable. Now, when it comes to cons, I do have to state that the ability to actually use it is a bit confounded by the fact that it is in this in-between state of using Google Home and Nest. You can actually access this thermostat in both mobile applications, but the way in which you share access and things of that nature has become unnecessarily complicated and definitely is a con when it comes to the Nest Learning Thermostat. Now that we've gone over the pros and cons, let's talk about the design on the Nest Learning Thermostat. Now, right off the bat, I have to say that it feels really nice. It's basically metal with the glass panel on the front. You can actually turn it from one side to another, get that nice click feeling as you're adjusting your temperature. I don't know, it's just a very satisfying experience. And when you're looking at it, it looks great because not only does it have a 480 by 480 resolution color screen, but it actually incorporates ambient lighting. So it's going to be visible if it's dark, if it's really bright, you're always going to be able to see what's going on. And when you're in the room, it's going to pick you up no matter where you are because it has a far field sensor attached. So it's going to detect movement and be like, oh, there's someone here. Let me adjust the temperature accordingly. Let me make it comfortable. So a big fan of the design on the Nest Learning Thermostat. Well, hold on, I hope you're enjoying our review of the Nest Learning Thermostat. You can be kept up to date on the newest in smart thermostats, smart home security, and cybersecurity. Subscribe to our channel, Security Baron. We're dropping new content weekly. All right, let's get back to the video. Now that we've gone over the pros and cons and the design on the Nest Learning Thermostat, let's jump into its feature section. And the first thing we gotta talk about is scheduling. Now, you can manually schedule your Nest Learning Thermostat for it to change at any time, any day, whatever you need it to be. But what's great about the Nest Learning Thermostat is you don't have to do any such thing because of its auto learning capability. So it can actually begin to learn your schedule. So if you're home in the morning and you change it to be a little bit warmer, it'll get to understand that. If you're home every Saturday and Sunday throughout the day, it'll learn how you like it to be at 8 a.m., at noon, at 4 p.m., at midnight. Those are all going to be learned by the Nest Thermostat, and then it'll just automatically shift into the temperature that is best for you. Now, if you would like to see what that actually results in, you can actually go back and look at your energy history. You can look at your monthly reports and see exactly what you were doing at each point in the day. And that's a really fun element of the Nest Learning Thermostat. Now, when it comes to using your Nest Learning Thermostat and all the different features that come together to make sure that it knows whether you're home or not, there are a lot of things to keep in mind. There's a home and away assist, for example. And essentially that knows where you are by using your cell phone's location. Now, of course, if there are multiple people in your home on the Nest system, it's going to actually be cognizant of that and set the temperature based on the people in the home. It's not going to just say just because the primary person is not home, we don't need to actually change the temperature. It also has far field detection, something called far sight, that can actually detect motion in the home. So if someone walks by, the thermostats can say, oh, someone's here, let's make sure it's comfortable. But remember, with the Nest Learning Thermostat, all these elements really come together in the idea of learning who you are are over time. So basically what you set it for is what it's going to set for. So if you typically are home on a Saturday morning, it's going to know that you're home on a Saturday morning and make the temperature comfortable for you, because over time you have done that. That is really the best way to understand how the Nest Learning Thermostat works in relationship to where you are. Now with the Nest Learning Thermostat, you have a number of different modes you can employ. You have, of course, heating, cooling, heat and cool, and off. And those are pretty straightforward. They basically speak for themselves in terms of what they're doing to your home. But what I'd like to talk about is the eco mode. So in the wintertime, eco mode is going to make you be a little bit cooler because it's trying to save you not only energy, but money. And in the summertime, it's going to be a little bit warmer because it's like, hey, let's not use as much air conditioning, even if we're just slightly uncomfortable. So that's something to keep in mind with that eco mode, and it is designated with the leaf. So when you have that leaf on your mobile application or on the display of the device itself, you know that you're saving a little bit of money, you're being environmentally and economically friendly. With the Nest Learning Thermostat, you're getting a ton of advanced features when it comes to sensing and detecting the temperature right for you. For example, you have cool to dry, and that basically senses that the humidity in your home has gotten entirely too high, and it actually employs the air conditioning to bring that humidity down, to make things a little bit drier so you can breathe properly. On top of that, you have early on, and early on makes sure that your home achieves the temperature you desire before you get home when it comes to cooling or heating your house. That's a really useful element. Finally, you've got safety temps, and safety temps basically make sure that if things get too cold inside of your house or too warm, it automatically heats it up or cools it down to make sure that things don't get dangerous, especially useful for people who may have children or a dog at home. Let's talk about the installation process with your Nest Learning Thermostat. Now, you're going to actually go first to the Nest website, make sure that your home's thermostat is compatible, and then from there, the first thing you're probably going to do is go ahead and turn off the power to your thermostat. Go to your breaker box, shut that off. Then you're going to take apart your old thermostat and begin the process. Now, I highly recommend going to the Nest website and just watching the tutorial for this installation process. It is not particularly difficult. I actually had mine set up in less than 30 minutes, I would say, but it definitely is a bit of a process. There are a number of wires you need to make sure you remove from your old thermostat and put into your Nest Learning Thermostat. After that, you're going to be walked through the entire process right there on the thermostat itself. You can look at your mobile app. There are just a lot of different points in which Nest will help facilitate this process, and you should take advantage of them. But overall, generally speaking, it's a really easy setup for your Nest Learning Thermostat. Now that we've got our Nest Learning Thermostat installed, let's check out how it does in the mobile app experience. It actually does pretty well in the Google Play Store, where it has a 4.3 out of 5-star rating, and even better in the Apple App Store, where it has a 4.7 out of 5-star rating. So let's go ahead and check it out on my iPhone 7 Plus. So here we are checking out the Nest Learning Thermostat in the Nest mobile application on my iPhone 7 Plus. Now you'll see right now that we're at 67. You'll see that below that, the inside humidity is at 32%. The outside is at 42 degrees. So it's a little pretty warm day actually for February in Brooklyn. And now let's go ahead and show you how we can immediately go ahead and adjust our temperature. So you see there are two icons at the bottom of the wheel, and they allow for you to turn it up like so. You can hear that click. And now we've actually turned the heat up, a great deal, and you can see that the background changes for that. Now, if I wanted to go back down to a normal temperature, I can actually click left with the other side, or I can actually turn the wheel as if I were using the actual Nest Learning Thermostat. And now I've turned it back to an actual degree, and you see now that it's gone off of heating. So that heating orange background is now been removed. Now let's go ahead and just check out that bottom row of icons and what you have available to you. So you have mode, where you, of course, setting your thermostat to heat, cool, it being off as it is currently right now, or you have heat and cool. And then let's go ahead and check out eco mode. Now eco is one thing that allows you to not only save energy, but ultimately save money, because it basically pushes you to be a little bit better ecologically speaking, and that is actually better for the environment and better for your bill. So let's go ahead and just change this thermostat to being eco for the moment. And voila, here we are. Now it's changed the way it's gonna work, and we get that nice leaf. So you see that icon of the leaf in the bottom row, and now you see it directly in the middle of our temperature wheel. And if I wanted to turn it back off, boom, I tap that, and we're gonna go back to a normal mode. Now to the right of that, you have the fan, which allows you to run the fan for a certain period of time. If I wanted to run it for the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes, those are all possible. I can run it for an hour, a couple of hours. You understand that there are a number of options for just a quick run of the fan. Now to the right of that, you'll see schedule. Now schedule is fun. You have to do it in landscape mode, but you'll see that you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can see exactly how things are going to go throughout the week. So you can check things out. You can look at how things were on Tuesday, and you can see how each time it actually changed. So at 2, it went to 68, 73, 72. Really useful element. But now let's jump into that history. Now the history actually shows you each day exactly what took place. So you can see when, for example, the heating was run, when the cooling was run. You can see here that it was not used on certain times, on Tuesday and Sunday. Now if you look here, you'll see that you can actually jump into the by hour energy history and see exactly who was adjusting the temperature. So someone adjusted it using the Nest app between 8 and 10 on Saturday morning. And then if you looked right beside that, it actually auto set itself at noon. So at noon, it said, you know what, I know exactly which people like to have it, and it changes things. And you can see that all throughout the mobile application, where it's basically setting itself through the auto scheduling, or people are doing it actually in the app itself. So now that we've gone through the bottom row of icons and capabilities, let's check out the settings. Now in the upper right hand corner, you see that gear. I can tap on that. And now you see there are a plethora of options and features to choose from home, away, and assist, where it makes the decisions based on when you're away, when you're home, how you like things to be functioning, to the auto scheduling. Now, basically you're gonna wanna turn auto scheduling on. This way you're not having to constantly fiddle with it, because it's basically gonna learn your schedule. So that's a really useful element, and something I definitely think you should utilize with the Nest Learning Thermostat. And below that, you have your time to temp estimates. So it basically will tell you how long it'll take to reach your target temperature. You have your early on, and this ensures that it starts to cool early enough to reach the temperature at a particular time. So if you know you're gonna be home in the middle of the summer at 7 p.m. and you want it to be nice and cool, well, you can have it begin working at 6:30. So when you walk in at 7 o'clock, you have your nice little oasis for that summer heat. You have your heat and pump balance, and something that's great for my parents, but not so useful or necessary right now, for example, for me in New York, is cool to dry, which reduces the excessive indoor humidity. Now in Tennessee, it is super humid, basically from spring to fall, and it's really necessary to use something like this so you're not sweating indoors. Below that, you have sunblock, and this is a really useful element that they've come up with, because it essentially lets the Nest thermostat know that it is in direct sunlight, so it should not be setting the cool based on where it is receiving that sunlight, but rather on what's actually going on in the space. Beyond that, you have your leaf. And this is just useful, and it kind of is what lets you know that you're in an energy saving temperature. Remember, energy saving translate almost directly to money saved. Then you have your air wave, which automatically switches off your air conditioner once the room has been cooled. Now, inside of the settings, you also get other options like eco temperatures. This basically allows you to choose the most energy efficient temperatures, and you want to basically have a lower temperature for heating and a warmer temperature for cooling. So basically this is where we break down that idea of being a little bit warmer in the summer to be better for the environment, and a little bit colder in the winter. And the same goes for safety. For safety, you can activate it at a minimum, so that if it gets too cold in your home, it will automatically kick in that heat, which is maybe something you want to have if you have children or babies in the home. And also the same goes for summertime. You want to make sure that if it ever gets too hot in the house, it's automatically going to kick on the air conditioner, and that's something you can set in terms of your personal safety temperature right inside of the Nest mobile application, along with the fan schedule, and something that I think is important for people like me, temperature units. I mean, I always feel as if I may have gotten Celsius, but I realize I'm always a little bit off, and so I still keep everything, I mean, of course, I'm an American, in temperature, in Fahrenheit when it comes to temperature units. So that's our look at the Nest Learning Thermostats mobile application. Now I want to answer some frequently asked questions regarding the Nest Learning Thermostat, beginning with our first question: what is the Nest Learning Thermostat? And the Nest Learning Thermostat is a smart thermostat owned by Google that over time begins to learn your schedule and your needs when it comes to temperature and adjust it accordingly. The second question is there a monthly fee for the Nest Learning Thermostat? And no, there is no monthly fee for controlling your temperature with the Nest Learning Thermostat. The final question is, are Nest Learning Thermostats worth it? And yes, I think Nest thermostats are worth it because they can save you between 10 and 15% on heating and cooling each month. Therefore, Nest Learning Thermostats can pay for themselves over time. All right, we've come a long way with our Nest Learning Thermostat, and you want to know, Gabe, who is this device made for? And I'll tell you who it's for. It's for the person who doesn't want to think about their home's temperature, but wants their home to be thinking about them. Because the Nest Learning Thermostat does just that. It does learn your schedule and your likes and your needs over time when it comes to your home's comfort level, temperature, humidity, all of that. On top of that, it allows for you to control it from wherever you happen to be in the world through that mobile application. So you have a sick dog at home, well, you can make the temperature cooler for that dog. It doesn't matter if you're in the office, the dentist chair, no matter where you are, you can control your home's temperature. And finally, it's for the person like me, the person who wants to pretend like they're in Star Trek's holodeck, the place where you can just say something, you can speak it into the world, and it manifests in your surroundings. And that's the case with the Nest Learning Thermostat and its integrations with smart platforms like Google and Amazon. I can just be at home and speak the temperature I want it to be, and then I can feel it. So I love that this device is made to have my home be as comfortable as possible. So that's our look at the Nest Learning Thermostat. If you have any feedback or questions about today's review, leave us a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you appreciate today's video, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. As always, this is Gabe Security Baron. Be secure.